Eh, Hello, everybody. I'm still sick, but that's okay because I always get over it. That's what you said last time. Anyway, as I was saying, I've received a whole lot of emails, and they're all about adoration. But I thought that, I can't talk about adoration until I talk more about the Eucharist. Now, I'll admit, I've been really nervous about talking about the Eucharist, not because it's not important, because that's the whole point. It's so important. I've been nervous to talk about it because it's such a big concept. It's basically everything the Catholic Church is based off of. So how am I supposed to, explain everything in one video? Like, is that possible? No, it's not possible, but that's okay because I can give you a little, few like ideas about what Catholics believe about the Eucharist. What is the Eucharist? Why do we believe it? And where is it coming from? Does this even have any validity? Like, should we even consider it? Yes, it's what our religion's based off of. So here's a few things that you should know. Number one, what does the Catholic Church believe about the Eucharist? Well, there's a lot of things we believe about the Eucharist, but here's the point. The reason Catholics have communion is different than the reason maybe Episcopalians or maybe even sometimes Baptists or, whatever other Christian churches might practice communion. The thing is, when they practice communion, they see bread and they see wine. And I know I've talked about transubstantiation before, and that's the difference. Because when we have the Eucharist, it's not bread and wine. It's, as I said, through transubstantiation, has been changed into the body and blood of Christ. Number two. Now, where did we get this belief from? Because a lot of people say that Jesus always talked in, curious ways. He was always talking about how, we are the vine, or I am the vine, you're the branches. Yeah, oh, that would have been awkward. I'm the vine, you are the branches, I'm the fence, I am the shepherd, blah, blah, blah. And all these different things he called himself. And one of the things he called himself a lot was the bread of life. And that his blood was the cup of the salvation. And so how are we supposed to say that, all these different things that he said he was, were all, figures of speech, but him saying that I'm the bread and the body, how are we able to say one thing is and one thing isn't? Well, here's the thing. Jesus knew that people, human beings, had a really hard time grasping his teachings. It was very difficult to hear somebody say, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it would sound exactly like that to them because it really was very confusing at the time. And so I saw this one thing, and it was so true because it compared kind of the way that when Jesus would talk, how it felt for people. Peter says to Jesus, you know what I think? I think that, fish love bicycles. I think that's a really wonderful example of God's love. And Jesus is like, what are you talking about? He's like, that's how we feel every time, Jesus. Every time you say anything, that's how we feel. So that's kind of like, the kind of way people felt when he would talk. And so Jesus would a lot of times have to, say whatever he had to say, and they would be like, what? And his response would be, okay, let me just explain it fully for you. Now, the thing is, one of the first times that Jesus ever said, I am the body and the blood, and you must eat of my body, and you must drink of my blood in order to get into heaven, and in order to be with me forever. And a lot of people kind of looked at him like, what? Like, confused. And the thing is that thousands of people left that day when he gave that sermon. Thousands of people left. Now, Jesus didn't stop and say, oh, wait, guys, let me explain. I wasn't being, literal. Like, that's just crazy. No, please come back and stay. He didn't stop them. Instead, not only did he not stop the people who left, he turned to his disciples, who he told everything with, lived with, slept with, was with them 100 and, percent of the time. He turned to them and said, are you going to leave me too? Now, that is one of the key concepts that you have to be able to grasp. One of the coolest things to think that, Jesus not only said what he had to say, but he didn't have to explain it for it to be what it was. Like, it wasn't something like, let me explain this metaphor. It wasn't. It was straight up, this is what you have to do. And if people leave me, then they've left me, because I'm not going to explain what I mean for real, because this is what I mean for real. There's nothing to explain. I've said what I need to say. And the thing is, the apostles or the disciples' response when he said, are you going to leave me too? Their response was, Lord, where else can we go? And that proves to us not only that, yes, they were going to stay with him, but they thought about leaving, because that is a really hard thing to grasp. the idea that, when you go to Mass or when you practice, receiving the Eucharist, that you are receiving a body and a piece of flesh and a piece of blood from a person who a lot of people, like to, see as dead and gone, even though, Christians are supposed to believe that he is, in heaven, living in our lives. But the fact that he has left us with this beautiful gift that has lasted thousands of years so that we can take part not only in his life and his work, but in the passion, his death, and his resurrection. That is what the Eucharist means to us and where it comes from. So that is just that's one of the cool, I think a very cool key concept to think about when you're questioning why do Catholics believe in this thing? Where did it come? No one said anything. Yes, he did. He sure did. And you can look it up in the Bible. I don't know off the top of my head. But it's a very famous scene. It's a very cool scene. And it's very, very direct statement. I know you're going to leave. I know people will leave. I know this is a hard concept to grasp. But, you need to come to terms with what it is that you're accepting if you follow me. Close change. So I know those are only 2 reasons for right now, but that's okay because I want to keep this video fairly short. But I hope that helped. Please let me know if it helped. Because there's so much beautiful things, or so many. Sorry, I know what to use. I'm just tired. I had 6 hours of play practice just now. So please let me know if you like that. There are many, many, many things that you can find within the Eucharist, within the readings and everything about the Eucharist. And the only way to find out stuff is to look up videos like this and videos similar to this. Go to other people's Catholic channels. Come to my Catholic channel if you want. I don't know if you feel like coming. But just look up. Ask people. Look up. Don't assume. That's one of the first things I said in my first video from long ago, is that the worst thing that you can do is assume when you want to learn about something. So don't sit still. Go look up a book. Go get the Catechism or the Eucat. And figure some of this stuff out. There will be more videos, I promise, about Eucharist. But before I do one on adoration, I just wanted to talk to you guys first about a little bit about what Eucharist is. And so those are 2 of the first reasons. So thank you for your time. So this is real quick. Sometimes I wonder if y'all figured out where I'm from yet. So if you do not know me, and that, because I'd be cheating, because you'd be from the same place if you knew me. But if you would like to guess where I'm from, good luck with that, y'all. That was a hint. Okay, anyway, love you all. Thank you for your time. So, bye! Yay! Oh, for God, huzzah!